Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to City Skylines 2. This is episode 25. Last time we dealt with some major traffic headaches and continued our expansion on uh, the western suburbs area, which is yet to be named. So let's go ahead and create a district for this one, getting that set up, and then we will continue on with our plan of action for this one. There might be a certain series on TV that helped inspire this one, but as it's located to the west, we now have Westworld, and there's definitely still some open space. And I've had an idea on what I want to do regarding that space, and we're going to go ahead and implement that first portion of the plan right now. But as for filling it out, we're going to wait a little bit longer on actually going through with that plan. But we have, this is a 6-laner, isn't it? Yes, so we have a 6-lane road through here, and we're going to go ahead and keep that theme alive. First coming and then just straight on from there. So talked about doing this one earlier, of creating the diagonal here, but we're not done with this project just yet. We're going to go for a medium lane, medium option here down the middle. Very large one here because it is still not yet a done deal on what we're going to do with that one. So we're going to drop a 4-lane, 2-way highway as a tunnel to that intersection there, and then we're going to do the same thing down here, but we're going to have to get creative on this one. We need a off-ramp, so we're going to need a 4-lane upgrade. Nope, that is not a good location for it. I don't like that location. I really don't like either one of these locations, actually. But we'll push that way on that one, and then we can make it come in a little differently here. There's the 4. So I've got the first phase is done, this far side of the road. We have an off-ramp that's going to tunnel underneath the other tunnel and come up. So we've got a 4-way highway that's connecting over here. And we've got the 2-way underneath it and then coming together about here. And then the 2-way here coming up. Now we've got to connect up this side with it as well. So that's going to be the trick from here, and that means we need to expand this for the second off-ramp, though, or on-ramp, the one going westbound. We're going to do something. For one, we've got to get past this power, so that's easy enough. We're starting to come up. We're at 60 feet now, but I'm going to go beyond this off-ramp and then have an on-ramp right after that, so there's no overlap. They're not too close together. That should be an easy enough thing to do, going this direction. And now we can come up to the surface and maybe just join in with the other one. and have the two ramps together. Have that be 5, have that be 4, and there you go. So that adds in a whole nother way to get on or off. That brings you much further in to the neighborhood than starting back here and loading up all that traffic back at this edge. That now disperses some of the traffic much deeper into the neighborhood, and I think is going to be a great way to ease some of the traffic burden throughout the area. We also now have lots of demand in various ways, including some high density. Having the highway right there, I think, makes this an ideal area right through here to pick up some of that high density, medium density kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and, especially with the amount of everything that we have here, so we're going to put in a huge parking structure right there, right near that ramp, and we're going to immediately raise the prices. We're also going to add in the car wash, because, you know, why not make people happy? Okay, we're going to put in a little mixed housing. And we're going to kind of offset it just a little bit there. And then in between, throw in a little high density. And, oh, that's a big one. Let's go back to the mixed for that. That's not the busy road. Well, we'll have to see what that high density one got for us. I mean, we're looking at a couple really tall buildings right there. I don't want a crazy amount of traffic coming into this area. That's the worry. Plus, we still need all that low density stuff back here in this pocket, and I have not picked out where we would connect that in just yet. I think we're going to need at least one connection point, maybe halfway through. Yeah, that might be the best place to squeeze something like that in. So we'll come off sideways here. Go ahead and get the roundabout in through there. Alright, so we'll get this weird hill here. I don't want to go over that crest. We'll go up to it though. Now, not every one of these needs a major roundabout, but we could put small roundabouts in here that should be able to handle things just fine through all of those roads. Okay, the high density demand went right on down with just that little bit that we added. The medium density didn't go down much with the mixed housing we added, and so I think we're going to have to kind of continue right on with this road and some more mixed housing to help with that medium density, or throw in some actual apartments for a change. That might be a good thing to do through there. I think we could throw in maybe a little pocket right here, some small apartment buildings. That's not much. That will put a little strain on parking, but not a big strain on parking in that area, which we don't have any, so we should probably put something. Now we do have this that we could help connect up kind of the neighborhood here and maybe make another, connection over here somewhere, so it's two ways in and out. I don't know if we want to try to squeeze in maybe a third way up here. Either way, that's a lot of newness. Plus there's going to be some heavy traffic with some higher density stuff. The higher density stuff could change things. I mean, look at that big building right there. That's a big one. I think I'm gonna hold off on additional strains. So we've still got our couple pockets here left to fill in, but I think we're good for a little bit longer, because the last couple times we've done something, we immediately put strain on traffic in particular. So we'll be patient. Okay, one thing I'm noticing right now is our traffic is getting pretty backed up here, and then through here, and really both of those two directions. So I think what I'd like to do is something similar to what I just did with the underground, and do a little, if you want to bypass this, you could bypass this. Like if you're going straight on past it, you don't have to bother with it, and that'll ease off the traffic a little bit through those two areas. So let's see if we can't get an off-ramp. Hard thing is just this setup that I've kind of created for myself is not ideal, but if we go like this, ooh, just noticed we have a subway through here that we're gonna have to get under, but we can do that easily enough. And that's past the second, and this is where I want to bring it up, so we're gonna have to bring it up to alright. Let's see if anybody starts using the bypass tunnel. And yes, there are cars immediately switching to the bypass. Can we upgrade this in a meaningful way that's going to help us? It can't sort out how it wants to run it unless we go like that. Okay, we'll just leave it as is. But that bypass will absolutely help alleviate some of that traffic. I'm not sure we can go the other way. We might be able to do so here by these trees. It's just I think we also have that subway nearby, and we don't have a ability to get back up here terribly well. I wish it was a little bit easier to switch from a 4-lane divided to your 3 lanes one way, 3 lanes your other way. It's not terribly simple the way that is set up. Some of the traffic is opting to use it though, so some of them have the know-how, the common sense to avoid and just lifting even some of that burden. But a little bit of it will make a difference. And likewise, if fewer cars are coming through here, then it's going to allow these two sides to go a little more freely. Off and on, I see that one get backed up, and then I see it get cleared up, and it's fine again, and then it gets backed up again, and so on and so forth. So I wonder if I could take some of this traffic and divert it around this way and straight up, because this is pretty hectic through here too. Or if we can ultimately do the same thing, if I can drop a tunnel and bring it back in all the way over here. Okay, I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go under over. So here's the plan. Here's the under. All right, first phase of the plan is to get a little ramp from here, a little tunnel underneath, and then coming up and then turning it into a bridge. Here, we're gonna go ahead and do something similar, and we're gonna start from here. All right, so we have methods to get there from both sides. Let me get rid of the... I think I want it to be that traffic circle way up there, though, where we bring it together. So this is just going to have to suck it up and alter some businesses. There are some vehicles trying to use the left there, but I think it's some of the cars that have already gone this way, turning around and then coming back and trying to use it. I don't think it's going to get used terribly much going the other direction, but it might get used some. As we see already, there's a fair bit of traffic on it, which is going to alleviate a lot of traffic from those traffic circles. And even this area is moving more smoothly, so good. So far so good on that. Just gotta get creative. That's it. And we still have this awkward. I think I can fix that. Took a little finagling. Had to move some power lines. Had to kind of switch directions on where I was setting it up, but I got it. I got it. I do need to redo what we had here, though. We want to do away with the crosswalk on that side. We want to do away with the light entirely. And while it's still not ideal, it's not perfect, that's not the kind of bridge you want. That's like right in the limits of what's allowed in terms of how steep it is. But we've smoothed out this edge here, and as a result, things are going significantly smoother, and that traffic is definitely moving faster. And look how we've already unloaded a lot of the traffic that persisted through the area, now putting most of it on this side, trying to get through, and still needing to get through, really. But would I be able to, and come up right about here, get a two-way? In water. Okay, and here we go again. So I've now taken off the bridge for going the other direction. It looks a little wonky right here, as the clipping on this one under the tunnel isn't great, but it is functioning, so I'm gonna leave it. But as the tunnel goes underneath and then comes out right here and connecting onto the highway, bypassing our two intersections, and you can see just how cleared up things are already through this area by doing this. And the traffic burden doesn't seem to be a problem here with the bridge. The traffic's split up enough, moving cleanly. So far so good with our projects today. Meanwhile, we're 3/4 of the way through the 17th, or now 18th milestone. So we're getting there. There is demand. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. But we need to figure out how to get a little more commercial in. And I'm wondering if we want to link this up through here. And then you could obviously extend the commercial a little bit through this zone. We're getting our first little office demand in a while. It just showed up for a second. Not the high density stuff, just the low density, but we could put that here. Checking in on the new stuff over here. Traffic. Not an issue at all. At all. Wow. Okay, this ramp. The off ramp. It's all taxis. What the heck? Okay. This ramp. That's not backed up. I mean, yeah, sure, there's a few cars, but that is not backed up at all. Not for city traffic. This one, a little bit of traffic. Mostly vehicles just trying to get back on the freeway after it's mostly delivery vans, so some of that's going to be cargo harbor. That's not ideal, but that's not bad. A few places not getting their garbage picked up fast enough. Been trying to address that, but not seeming to quite deal with it the way you would want to. But back over here, let's check in on this. This is all cleared up. I mean, look at that. That's nice, clean, smooth, no issues. Quite a few cars going through the bypass, which is having a similar impact, at least for that one direction of flow. But this is still backed up, and this is still backed up. Ultimately, I suspect it's going to slowly but surely clean up. Like, it won't be too bad long term. It's just taking longer to clear up this intersection the other two ways. But as there's fewer cars coming through here, that means more cars are going to move in the other two directions, or the other three directions, really. Ultimately, it'll clear things up in the long term. Short term, yeah, that opposite side is still having some issues with it, but some of this is zoned industrial and not yet filled in, so definitely industrial demand's awfully low. Little apartment complex right there. Just to help. Just ease the burden just a little bit of what we need. Oh, okay. Here's the big one. Here's the big one. This was last episode. Massive effort to rework. Let's see how it's doing. For one thing, no backup near the edge of the map. That's the northern edge. We're going southbound right now. No backup at the intersection between the new freeway and the old freeway. This was all backed up before. It's completely cleared to the first exit into the city. What about the second one? Yes, we've done it. Oh, I'm a miracle worker. I perform miracles. Totally cleared up. No issues whatsoever. Running as smooth as can be. The bus traffic, no issue. While there's a lot of foot traffic for the subway, everything's fine. Like, it's running smooth as can be. Oh, yes, okay. Getting a little backup here, but that's very minor. I think I'm gonna leave it. It's an awkward quadruple intersection for each on or off ramp, and it nearly works. Nearly. Sort of does. What if I brought it in at 2 lanes? Upgrade. And where is the other? It's back here. If we were to bring that together and have them merge and just be one light through there. Did I try doing that before, though? I think I might have. We'll just have to leave that one be. As I said, it's It's not too bad. It's not actually backing up the freeway at all. It's just a little tricky to try to fix without a total overhaul. Now for me, this is not wise. There's cars that are opting to go this way to then come across to go this way, when this is meant to be the intersection. You just go right there and then off you go. The minivan comes down this way and turns into that traffic. Does that change anything? Doesn't seem to change it. It just expands the space. Does that make it easier to flow? Maybe. Guess we'll find out. Foot traffic is a problem as much as anything. Where did all this foot traffic come from? Looks like he might have crashed here with Andrew Keats, who's on fire at the moment. He should probably get off his motorcycle. Might be smart. Before we expand anything else, I think it's time to go back into the achievement page and see if there's anything else we could do today. Maybe one. If we can pick out one. Okay, the renewable resources. Yes, that's something that we were on the verge of. It was just this gas power plant that is producing 258 megawatts, and we've done no expansions on it. Let's check in. Do we have 258 megawatts spare? No, not 258. So that means we need to further invest. Backup batteries for both of those. Now we just need to hook up the water and power. Ooh, adding those solar stations nearly took care of one major component. Let's go like this, that, and hook those two into the network. So there's two more solar power plants, and the addition of those brought us within 2K points of the next milestone. So that was a huge increase for us as we kind of fill this forest in with something that's not going to create heavy traffic burden. The elementary school, well, I thought I was going to be putting neighborhood stuff in here, and maybe I'll put in a little bit. I mean, we do have the medieval castle. I think we can handle a small neighborhood through here. All right, so we've gone ahead and filled in that little pocket of a neighborhood there to complete that particular area. Now we're up to 283 megawatts that are being exported while we're charging the new batteries. Is 283 enough to drop this thing now? I think it was 258, right? Yes, it was. No, not by much, though. Not by much. For a squasher downer, I did not get something for clean energy, though. But maybe it takes a little bit for it. Still have a positive balance. It's just not significant. Something we're doing is not considered renewable. Could be the incineration plant, though. I mean, that feels like that's a renewable type item. You're burning something to make more power, but a lot of traffic accidents in the city. By the way, there's another down here. But this is all nice and cleaned up. Mostly. Getting a bit of traffic here. And why are vehicles trying to turn left up here? That just doesn't make much sense. How about if we upgrade this? Crosswalk, as well as creating a bit of a headache for us. just because for whatever reason, unless that's just your cars coming from here, trying to turn left. Like these ones should just take the circle and go that way. I mean, why would you go way over here to go that way? I could see this traffic wanting to turn left. But this traffic would just turn right. This traffic would just take the traffic circle and go left. These guys would just turn right and go straight on. I mean, why would they bother to go this way? That makes no sense. And these guys have every reason to go underneath, which no one seems to be doing. No, yes, there. That sedan is. But there's a lot of vehicles trying to go left here. Afraid of tunnels? Well, with the 2 lanes, things are moving smoother. Light or no light. The light is really just for pedestrians now. Well, we're not going to get there anytime soon, but I can work on the spider webbing, which is 50 active transport lines. We have this whole new area, and there are 0 transport lines through there. I think just going through, what do you call it? Just a loop for a bus around here would help. And there we go. In the meantime, while working on this, expansive metropolis milestone 18, just 2 remain, another $6 million, 21 progression points, and 46 tiles. All it did was increase the loan limit, but massive metropolis, which we're going to need another just shy of 80,000 experience to get that one. And then finally the megalopolis, which is nearly 150k from this point in time. Alright, so that's the first new bus line in this area. We're gonna view details. We're gonna cut that down a little bit. 5 vehicles. Up the price. There you go. So that one runs the big loop around. And then we're gonna want to get one that kind of runs maybe the diagonal and then through here. And the diagonal through here, maybe looping around that way, but that's something I'm going to worry about another time. We've hit our latest milestone. We have some progression points. We have demand that's balanced for the first time in a very long time. There's different needs for most everything out there. Now it's just a matter of working on that demand and of course continually working on the achievements, which we worked on briefly here at the end of this episode, but without completing any of those in particular. I thought the power one would have completed it. It did not. I'll have to check in and see what it is I need to do differently to make that happen. Traffic's flowing really well in most parts of the city now. That makes me very happy. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.